Hey everyone, if you've been diving into Last Epoch lately, you know how insanely flexible the classes can be. I mean, there's just so much to experiment with, and each mastery feels like a whole new game. But let's be honest, all that choice can get a little overwhelming. That's why we decided to put together a Season 3 class tier list for you, updated right after the Beneath Ancient Skies patch. Think of it as your quick guide to figuring out which classes are straight up busted and which ones are fun, but maybe a little niche. We're going to break down all the masteries, chat about what makes them shine, and give you a sneak peek at which ones are dominating the meta this season. Whether you're a hardcore ARPG fan or just hopping into Last Epoch for the first time, this list should make picking your next character a lot less stressful. So grab your favorite mastery, sit back, and let's see who's ruling the Season 3 battlefield. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking classes in Last Epoch. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Druid and Forge Guard. Alright, let's dive into this C tier mess of masteries, because honestly, someone has to talk about the underdogs, right? Now, these are the masteries that aren't exactly screaming, I'm broken, but they also aren't carrying your endgame solo runs without some serious effort, gear, and probably a little bit of luck. Think of them as the reliable friend who's great at parties but won't win a championship on their own. First up, the Druid. The Druid, a shapeshifter with all the primal vibes you could ask for. You can transform into a werebear, a spriggan, or a swarmblade, and each form gives you its own set of abilities and buffs. Pretty cool, right? Here's the catch, while you're in your animal form, you burn rage instead of mana, which can make managing resources a bit tricky. Early game mobs? Totally trivial. Werebear mode will smash through them like a hot knife through butter. But when it comes to late game meta, things get sticky. The Season 3 changes in Last Epoch made life tougher for druids, which is why they're chilling here in the C tier. So yeah, fun to play, but don't expect them to carry your team through endgame dungeons without some serious effort. Next on the C tier hit list is the Forge Guard. Now this guy is all about fire, metal, and minions, and let me tell you, that combo can be flashy as heck. We're talking floating shields, forged weapons, and even a massive set of animated armor ready to bash your enemies. If you want to go big, a mastery armor build is where it's at. Stack up shield throw with some ricochets and you'll see fireworks on the battlefield, literally. Still, here's the kicker. Other classes just do what Forge Guard does, but better and with less fuss. So it's fun, but not exactly meta breaking. Honestly, C tier masteries are kind of like the quirky side characters in your favorite show. They have personality, some neat tricks, and they can be useful in the right hands. But if you're chasing efficiency, raw power, or that sweet endgame glory, they're going to make you work for it. They're not bad, just not quite the star of the party. And hey, sometimes having a druid or forge guard in your squad is exactly what makes fights interesting. Spice, unpredictability, and occasional chaos all rolled into one. So if you're thinking about diving into Last Epoch Season 3 and want something a little different, don't shy away from these C tier masteries. They may require investment, patience, and some trial and error, but the payoff can be satisfying, especially if you enjoy seeing things explode or morph in weird, unexpected ways. Just keep your expectations in check and remember, it's all about the fun, the chaos, and maybe a little bit of style points. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Blade Dancer, Marksman, Shaman, Sorcerer, Spellblade, and Warlock. Alright, let's take a stroll through the B tier masteries of Last Epoch Season 3, because these classes are the solid players of the roster. They aren't the ultimate powerhouse of the meta, but with the right hands, builds, and a sprinkle of patience, they can absolutely shine. Think of them like your dependable co-op buddy. You might not always steal the spotlight, but they'll have your back when it counts. First up, the Blade Dancer. If you love moving fast, spinning through enemies, and generally feeling like a ninja on a sugar rush, this is your pick. Speed is everything here, but it comes at a price. Blade Dancers can die faster than you can say, oops. That's why investing in fast movement skills like Swift is practically mandatory. Keep darting around, stay on your toes, and you'll be slicing and dicing before enemies even know what hit them. Next, the Warlock. Classic RPG fans rejoice. This mastery is all about damage over time, or DOT, meaning you can sit back, relax a bit, and watch your enemies slowly melt away. But don't get too cozy. You'll need strategy, timing, and positioning to get the most out of your build. The key is to focus on one type of damage, buff it to the max, and watch as the Warlock quietly dominates the battlefield while you sip your imaginary tea. Shaman comes in hot with some serious area of effect skills. The catch? Single target damage isn't their strong suit. That said, everything Shaman does is offensive magic, so the passive tree will happily boost your attunement, spell damage, elemental damage, and mana pool. Summon a storm totem and suddenly your team has buffs raining down like it's the middle of a thunderstorm. Versatility is Shaman's name. Up close with hybrid melee elemental attacks or at range throwing spells, they've got it covered. Sorcerer is the glass cannon wizard you've been dreaming of. Massive area of effect elemental spells, devastating arcane ascendance buffs. It's like fireworks every time you cast. But here's the kicker, mobility isn't great. You'll need to stay back, keep your distance, and make sure you don't end up on the wrong side of a boss swipe. Spell damage is high, but survivability, not so much. Spellblade is where melee and elemental magic meet, and it's a lot of fun. Think sword-wielding mage chaos / buff explode. However, here's the rub. Spellblade's power is heavily gear dependent. You need decent equipment to really see the fireworks, otherwise you're just a flashy wannabe swinging your sword at minions. But when the stars align and the build clicks, you'll feel unstoppable. Marksman is pure range sniping goodness, bow in hand, rapid fire arrows flying, and the ability to pick off enemies from a safe distance. This mastery screams precision. Don't get too cocky though, because Marksman is about as tanky as a paper umbrella in a hurricane. Stay back, aim well, and make sure nothing gets close enough to poke you, or you'll go down faster than your last cookie in the jar. Let's get real for a second. B-tier masteries are like the middle child of Last Epoch classes. They're reliable, capable, and fun to play, but they don't usually dominate the spotlight the way S-tier legends do. You'll have to invest a bit more in gear, strategy, and skill rotations, but the payoff can be incredibly satisfying. Blade Dancer shines when you embrace their speed. Positioning, timing, and a little bit of finesse will make you feel untouchable. Zoom past enemies, spin around, and strike before they even react. Just don't forget, you're fast but fragile. Warlock thrives on patience and tactical positioning. Focus on that single damage type, stack your buffs, and let the DOTs do the heavy lifting. It's all about letting the enemy's health bar tick down while you stay safe. Perfect for players who like to think 2 steps ahead. Shaman loves chaos, especially the controlled kind. With a storm totem in play, you'll be dishing out damage while giving your allies helpful buffs. They excel in multi-target scenarios, and hybrid attacks let you switch up your style depending on the fight. Versatility? Check. Fun factor? Double check. Sorcerer is all about spectacle. If you like watching the battlefield light up with arcane flames and elemental bursts, this mastery is your jam. Just remember, you're not built to take hits. Positioning is everything. Keep your distance, cast your spells, and enjoy the fireworks without getting roasted yourself. Spellblade and Marksman round out our B-tier party. Spellblade brings flashy melee magic combos, but needs good gear to shine, while Marksman picks off enemies from afar with pinpoint precision. Both are satisfying to play if you know their limits and work around them, proving that B-tier doesn't mean boring. So yeah, B-tier masteries are solid, reliable, and versatile. You won't be breaking the meta, but with a bit of patience and strategy, they can absolutely hold their own. And honestly, sometimes having these classes in your squad makes fights way more interesting and way more fun. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Lich, Necromancer, Paladin, and Rune Master. Alright, let's talk about the A tier masteries in Last Epoch. These are the classes that make you feel powerful, versatile, and just a little bit fancy, without quite tipping into S tier god mode. Think of them as the highly competent, stylish friend everyone secretly envies. Reliable, impressive, but still manageable. First up, the Paladin. This Sentinel mastery is like the ultimate tanky powerhouse, soaking up damage while staying alive and kicking. Thanks to passive abilities like Faithful, you'll have healing rolling in while you wade through enemies. And if you go for a hammer throw build, prepare for chaos. A swirling spiral of hammers covering the screen and dealing solid damage to everything unlucky enough to stand in their path. It's flashy, satisfying, and lets you feel like a true battlefield hero. Rune Master is where things get interesting. This class has a unique casting system. Each spell you cast earns you an elemental rune, which you then use to trigger one of 40 different runic invocations. Think meteor showers, defensive barriers, and other over-the-top magical mayhem. Resource management is key here, but if you enjoy strategic spellcasting with some insane visual payoff, the Rune Master is an absolute blast to play. The Lich is basically death with a fancy hat. This transformation-based caster relies on Reaper form, which increases your power but also makes you take damage over time. It's high risk, high reward gameplay, and mastering it means juggling multiple stats like health, intelligence, and mana. Keep your buffs under control or your Reaper form will turn from power fantasy to, oh no, I'm dead again. Necromancer, the Acolyte mastery, is the ultimate puppet master. Almost every build revolves around minions doing the heavy lifting while you orchestrate chaos from the backline. The recent minion system overhaul has made the undead armies even stronger, with smarter AI and better damage scaling. Playing Necromancer feels like running your own little apocalypse squad, and honestly, it's incredibly satisfying. A-tier masteries all share something in common: versatility. They can perform well in multiple scenarios, excel in certain areas like AoE or minion control, and provide strong builds without requiring perfection. They might need a bit more investment than S-tier classes, or have some minor limitations, but that's part of their charm. You get to feel like a skilled tactician rather than a raw power gamer. Paladin and Runemaster show off A-tier strength through different approaches, one through durable frontline action, the other through strategic, resource-heavy spellcasting. Lich and Necromancer, meanwhile, let you play with transformations or minion armies, giving you tactical depth that's fun without being completely overwhelming. Overall, A-tier masteries are a fantastic choice if you want strong, versatile gameplay with high build variety. They let you explore different styles and strategies, and in the right hands, they can occasionally punch above their weight and rival S-tier classes. So, if you're building a team or trying something new in Last Epoch, don't underestimate these A-tier heroes. They offer plenty of power, plenty of options, and a lot of the fun that keeps you coming back to the game. The classes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Beastmaster, Falconer, and Void Knight. Alright, now we're stepping into the big leagues, S-tier masteries in Last Epoch Season 3. These are the classes that don't just survive the battlefield, they dominate it. Whether you're speed farming, tackling arenas, or taking down bosses, S-tier masteries are built to make your life easier and your enemies' lives miserable. First up, the Beastmaster. This mastery is basically the definition of easy to pick up, hard to put down. Minions scale like crazy in Season 3, making this a fantastic choice for both newcomers and veterans alike. Survivability is high, damage is strong, and your enemies won't know what hit them as your pets tear through the battlefield. It's fun, effective, and ridiculously satisfying to play. Next, Void Knight. This is the melee sentinel class that makes you feel like a whirlwind of destruction. Large circular swings carve through enemies, leaving a trail of void damage over time in your wake. Season 3 nerfs have slightly tempered its power, but don't let that fool you. Void Knight is still one of the strongest options in the game, with raw melee dominance and excellent AoE potential. Then there's Falconer, the S-tier master of minions and explosives. Your Falcon companion isn't just for show, it delivers attacks across the battlefield, and Dive Bomb is particularly devastating. The trick to mastering Falconer is buffing your Falcon's attacks and minimizing cooldowns so you can keep the pressure on. Movement speed abilities like Swift are essential, because while you're dishing out chaos, you don't want to get caught in the crossfire. S-tier masteries shine because of their combination of high power, versatility, and survivability. They let you farm efficiently, dominate in arenas, and crush bosses without needing to constantly babysit your stats or rotations. They reward both smart play and aggressive strategies. Beastmaster, Void Knight, and Falconer each have unique playstyles. Pets and efficiency, raw melee, devastation, and minion explosive synergy, respectively. They all bring something slightly different to the table, but what unites them is sheer effectiveness and fun factor. If you're aiming for endgame content or just want the classes that let you feel like an unstoppable force, S-tier is where you want to start. These masteries offer the most reliable performance, highest damage output, and a ton of build variety. In short, S-tier masteries are the cream of the crop. Play them right and you'll feel like you're running through Last Epoch with cheat codes, because honestly, that's what they kind of feel like. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.